Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to the AEW Battle of the Belts 2 review. And Battle of the Belts 2 was from the Curtis Culwell Center in Garland, Texas. And it was only an hour show, only 3 matches. And the show just didn't really do it for me. The show was a disappointment. The crowd looked like they didn't want to be there. They didn't even care what was going on in the ring. The TNT Championship was on the line where Scorpio Sky defended the title against Sammy Guevara. The Ring of Honor, the ROH World Championship, was on the line where Jonathan Gresham ended up defending the title against Dalton Castle. And in the main event, the AEW Women's World Championship was on the line. Thunderosa defended the title against Nyla Rose. But overall, the show just came off as a disappointment. Just wasn't feeling the show tonight. But before I get into the review, it's going to be a short review. But before I get into it, if you guys haven't checked out my previous video that I uploaded earlier today, Saw Morbius, did a movie review on it, so definitely check out my review of that if you guys haven't seen it. But I thought the film was enjoyable. Wasn't the best Marvel film. Not bad as people and critics are making it out to be. But I just found it to be a very enjoyable film. So if you guys haven't seen my review of Morbius, definitely go check it out. But anyways, let's jump right into the review. AEW Battle of the Belts 2 opened up with the TNT Championship on the line. Scorpio Sky defended the title against Sammy Guevara. Scorpio Sky ended up coming out along with Ethan Page and Dan Lambert, while Sammy Guevara ended up coming out along with his girlfriend, TNT, to which I heard Guevara getting booed from the crowd because nobody wants to see this whole thing with Guevara and TNT on TV. It's just bringing back of what WWE did with Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch when they paired them together and put them on TV, and they had that match with Corbin and Lacey Evans. That is what AEW is doing with Sammy Guevara and TNT. They're the Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch as to how AEW is portraying them on TV. But this was a okay match here. But the end, I'm like, this makes no sense. So I'll get to explaining that. So Sammy Guevara started off the match. He rushed into Scorpio Sky in the corner. Scorpio Sky ended up using his strength to put Guevara down onto the canvas. He was working on Guevara in the corner. Scorpio Sky then ended up biting Guevara on his head. Guevara then ended up turning it around. He ended up biting Scorpio Sky's head. Guevara ended up taking Scorpio Sky down. He ended up going for a standing suplex. But Sammy ended up sending Scorpio Sky into the ropes. Scorpio Sky ended up lifting Guevara up for a TKO. But Guevara just reversed it, and Sammy and Scorpio Sky end up trading chops in the middle of the ring. Guevara end up connecting Scorpio Sky with a lariat, which was a nice lariat. So Sammy Guevara end up delivering a drop kick to Scorpio Sky, and Scorpio rolled out of the ring. Guevara followed Scorpio Sky out of the ring, and he ended up sending Scorpio Sky crashing into the barricade. Scorpio Sky ended up managing to get back up. He ended up dropping Guevara on top of the barricade. He then scooped up Guevara, ended up slamming him down onto the floor, onto the padding. Guevara then ended up responding, and he jumped off the ring steps, and he delivered a awesome, nice-looking moonsault. So Scorpio Sky end up connecting with the TKO on the apron to Guevara. Scorpio Sky then end up sending Guevara face first into the ring steps. He then end up coming back into the ring. Scorpio Sky started working on Guevara in the corner with some strikes. Scorpio Sky then delivered a backbreaker in the middle of the ring to Guevara. He then ended up delivering a second backbreaker to Guevara. Guevara ended up delivering an enziguri to Scorpio Sky. And after Guevara did that, he ended up connecting with a Spanish Fly to Scorpio Sky, which was cool. Guevara then ended up kicking Scorpio Sky in the face after he leapt from the middle rope. So Ethan Page ended up pulling Scorpio Sky out of the ring. Tay Conti ended up getting in Ethan Page's face. And Sammy Guevara ended up hitting a awesome, nice looking shooting star press. And he took out Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. Good spot there in the match where Sammy hit that shooting star press. So Scorpio Sky ended up going for a small package. Sammy Guevara ended up kicking out. Guevara ended up delivering a kick to Scorpio Sky's face, and then he delivered the cutter to Scorpio Sky. Guevara went for the cover, and Scorpio Sky ended up kicking out. Dan Lambert, he ended up trying to cause a distraction. Ethan Page and Dan Lambert ended up bringing out Paige Van Zandt. And Paige Van Zandt and Tay Conti were brawling on the outside. So the referee was distracted. Scorpio Sky ended up poking Sammy Guevara in the eye. And then Guevara came back. He ended up low blowing Scorpio Sky. And Guevara ended up hitting the GTH on Scorpio Sky. He ended up going for the cover. And there you go. Sammy Guevara ended up winning the match. And Sammy Guevara, once again, is the TNT champion. And all I gotta say is, this makes no sense. So, you have Scorpio Sky win it, only for him to lose it to Sammy Guevara at Battle of the Belts 2, like what we saw tonight. So, you know what this means. Scorpio Sky is a transitional champion, meaning he won the title only to keep it warm and hot for Sammy Guevara to win it back. That's how I see it. So, Sammy Guevara just wins back the TNT Championship just by low blowing Scorpio Sky and hitting the GTH. So at this point, you should just make Sammy Guevara go heel along with Tay Conti, because at a Rampage taping, the crowd was booing Sammy Guevara and Tay Conti. Because, you know, the fans, they don't want to see this. You know, if the fans saw what WWE did with Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch when they paired them and showed them on TV, and like I said, that when they had that feud with Corbin and Lacey Evans, you know, this is what nobody wants to see. The only thing that would be good is if they make Sammy Guevara go heel along with Tay Conti. So, but overall, match was okay. And then we had the ROH, the Ring of Honor World Championship on the line. John Gresham defended the title against Dalton Castle. Dalton Castle ended up coming out along with his guys, two guys which they claim are his boys. So they came out, and his boys, they were wearing like a mask. Almost reminded me of something that Lady Gaga would wear. And John Gresham came out, and John Gresham really liked the mask that he wore when he came out. Thought it looked really cool. And Dalton Castle, you know, when he comes out, he has his attire where, you know, he raises his arms and you see like the wings underneath there. But I thought this was a pretty good match here. Never seen Gresham and Dalton Castle in the ring before. And I gotta say, both guys did pretty good here in the match. Both guys impressed me. So the match started off with both Gresham and Castle ended up shaking hands. Gresham ended up going to work on Dalton Castle's left arm. Dalton then ended up going after Gresham's left arm. So Gresham ended up reversing that into a headlock takedown. Dalton then delivered a number of gut wrenches to Gresham. And Dalton Castle ended up connecting with a big back elbow. Both guys hit the ropes, ended up avoiding each other's moves. Jonathan Gresham ended up delivering a drop kick to Dalton Castle in the middle of the ring. Gresham ended up getting Dalton Castle in the corner, dragged him into the middle of the canvas. Gresham continued to work on Dalton Castle, and Gresham locked in a hammerlock on Dalton. Dalton ended up elbowing his way out of the hammerlock, but Gresham ended up taking Dalton back down, which he managed to get his foot on the rope. Dalton came back and delivered a hurricanrana on the outside to take Gresham out. Gresham and Castle end up ducking out of the way of their moves, and Dalton end up lifting Gresham up, connected with a German suplex. Dalton Castle end up connecting with a deadlift row to Gresham, and Gresham end up hitting an enziguri, and Dalton Castle delivered a lariat. Gresham end up managing to lock in the octopus on Dalton. Dalton end up submitting. So there you go. Jonathan Gresham ended up winning the match, still retain the Ring of Honor World Championship. Post-match, both guys end up shaking hands. And then out came Jay Lethal, Sonjay Dutt, and the guy who ended Dynamite this week awful, Satnam Singh, who should be called the Walmart Great Value, Great Khali version in AEW. This guy is the Great Khali 2.0 Omos, as what we saw Wednesday on Dynamite. That was just a terrible, terrible way to end Dynamite and what we saw on Wednesday. So all three guys end up coming out to the ring. Satnam chokeslammed the boys, Dalton Castle's boys. Satnam then ended up sending Dalton Castle into the ring steps. Jay Lethal ended up hitting the lethal injection on Gresham. And then Satnam ended up bouncing Gresham against the mat. Lee Moriarty then ended up making his way out. And of course, Satnam Singh took out Lee Moriarty. Matt Sydal ended up coming out. He tried to hit Satnam with his crutch. And Jay Lethal and Sonjay Dutt ended up taking out Matt Sydal. And then they sent him over to Satnam. And then Samoa Joe, the ROH, the Ring of Honor TV champion, came out. Samoa Joe came out and he had a lead pipe in hand. And Satnam Singh, Sonjay Dutt, and Jay Lethal end up getting out of the ring. And that was that. So what is this? Tony Khan's going to push Satnam Singh all the way? So we're going to get Great Khali, Omos, in Satnam Singh in AEW. The Walmart Great Value version of the Great Khali. But overall, Jonathan Gresham versus Dalton Castle was a good match. And then we had the main event. Thunderosa versus Nyla Rose, AEW Women's World Championship on the line. Nyla Rose ended up coming out first. No Vicky Guerrero. Vicky Guerrero wasn't there. So it was just Nyla by herself. And then Thunderosa ended up coming out. So Nyla Rose ended up immediately taking out Thunderosa as the match started. Thunderosa ended up rolling out of the ring. Nyla Rose ended up following her to the outside, sending her into the barricade. Nyla then delivered a chop to Thunderosa's chest. She ended up lifting Thunderosa up, but Thunderosa reversed and sent Nyla into the ring post. Thunderosa ended up taking Nyla Rose down, and she delivered a chop to her chest and sent her into the guardrail. Thunderosa ended up going up to the top and delivered a missile drop kick to Rose. Thunderosa ended up going for the cover. Nyla Rose ended up kicking out. Thunderosa connected with a sliding lariat to Rose, and she ended up going for another pinfall attempt. Thunderosa then delivered a number of strikes to Rose. Rose came back and headbutted Thunderosa, sending her down. Nyla Rose ended up stomping on Thunderosa in the corner, to which she ended up sending Thunderosa into the ropes. Thunderosa ended up countering and sent Nyla Rose out to the floor. Thunderosa ended up diving from the apron. Nyla Rose ended up countering, and she ended up slamming Thunderosa against the ring apron. So, at the end of the match, Thunderosa then ended up hitting her Hurricanrana. She ended up going for the cover on Nyla Rose. And there you go. Thunderosa ended up winning the match, retaining the AEW Women's World Championship. Overall, the match did not even care for. Nyla Rose in the main event. I'm like, why? I mean, facing Thunderosa, it's just not, entertaining. Like, I didn't even care for the match. So, but that was your AEW Battle of the Belts 2 show. It was a very disappointing show. Didn't feel the show tonight. These AEW special shows, they need to be live. Just when they're taped, they just come off as just meh, in my opinion. Like, the crowd is not into it at points. If they ever do a AEW special, they need to bring it live. They need to do it live instead of taped. Same thing with Rampage. Rampage needs to go live. They need to get off Friday. Make it 2 hours. Make Rampage 2 hours. That's what they need to do. The Rampage shows that are live, they give off a much different vibe than how they are when they tape Rampage. I think the Rampage shows that are live are much better than the tape shows. So Rampage needs to go live. They need to get off Fridays. They need to be 2 hours, just like Dynamite. But like I said, if AEW does these special shows like Battle of the Belts, they need to do it live and not taped. So that's just my opinion. But anyways, that's it for my review of AEW Battle of the Belts 2. Thank you all for watching. Short review of this. Just wanted to get it out. But be sure to give the video a thumbs up. Comment, subscribe. Be sure to check out my movie review of Morbius if you guys haven't seen it. And I just want to wish you guys a happy Easter. If you guys are celebrating Easter tomorrow, have a very happy Easter. Hope you all enjoy it. And until next video, I'll see you all later.